recent working paper by the International Monetary Fund highlights how digitalization of public administration in India has improved the productivity of micro, small and medium enterprises. The study shows that states which have implemented more digital reforms have experienced better performance of small manufacturing firms. Importance of micro, small and medium enterprises, MSMEs, in India. Micro, small, and medium enterprises are often described as the growth engine of India. Their socio-economic importance is multifaceted. Employment generation, employing approximately 110 million workers, the sector is the second largest employer after agriculture. The sector is highly labor-intensive, supporting inclusive growth and absorbing surplus labor from agriculture. Contribution to manufacturing, contributing nearly 35% of manufacturing output, MSMEs strengthen the industrial base and promote decentralized industrialization. Export competitiveness and foreign exchange earnings, accounting for about 45% of exports, the sector enhances India's export diversification, improves current account deficit and integrates the economy into global value chains. Promotion of regional balance, these enterprises are widely distributed across rural and semi-urban areas, helping reduce regional disparities and supporting balanced economic development. Low capital, high output efficiency, the sector demonstrates a relatively high capital output ratio efficiency, making it important for economies with capital constraints. Entrepreneurship and innovation, MSMEs foster grassroots entrepreneurship, innovation, and flexibility. Despite their importance, a large share of these enterprises remains unincorporated and informal, making them highly sensitive to transaction costs, regulatory burden, and administrative inefficiencies. Nature of digitalization reforms. The IMF paper highlights that, between 2010 to 11 and 2014 to 15, India undertook extensive business environment reforms, primarily through the digitalization of public administration processes to reduce regulatory complexity and improve ease of doing business. These reforms were institutionalized under a 98-point action plan, 2014, which focused on simplifying procedures and increasing transparency. Key areas of reform include introduction of online filing and payment systems to reduce compliance time and costs. Digital approval processes to minimize delays in starting business operations. Simplified and online compliance mechanisms to reduce regulatory burden. Risk-based and transparent inspection systems to limit discretionary intervention. Faster and more transparent mechanisms to resolve business disputes. Integrated digital platforms to streamline multiple approvals through a single interface. Key findings of IMF working paper on MSMEs. Higher productivity, states that adopted more digital reforms witnessed faster growth in firm productivity, showing that better governance directly improves economic performance. Reduction in productivity gap among firms, digitalization reduced differences between efficient and less efficient firms, indicating a more level and competitive business environment. Strong impact on small and informal enterprises, unincorporated and micro-manufacturing firms benefited the most, as they are more affected by complex procedures and regulatory delays. Improvement in total factor productivity, reforms led to better utilization of resources such as labor and capital, resulting in overall efficiency gains. Reduction in compliance burden, digital systems such as online approvals and filings reduced the time, cost, and effort required to deal with government regulations. Greater transparency and reduced corruption, automation of processes limited discretionary decision-making, thereby reducing informal payments and improving trust in the system. Limited interstate spillover effects, micro-enterprises showed low mobility, meaning benefits of reforms remained largely within the states that implemented them. How digitalization improves productivity. Digitalization improves productivity through multiple economic channels. Reduction in transaction costs, firms spend less time and money dealing with administrative procedures. For example, Online tax filing systems eliminate repeated visits to government offices and reduce compliance expenses. Improved transparency, clear and automated processes reduce uncertainty and corruption. For example, digital approval systems with tracking features allow firms to monitor application status, reducing scope for bribery. Faster decision-making, digital systems reduce delays in approvals and compliance. For example, online construction permits and automated clearances shorten the time required to start operations. Lower informal costs, reduced human intervention limits rent-seeking behavior. For example, automated inspection systems reduce discretionary visits by officials and associated informal payments. Better resource allocation, firms can focus more on production rather than compliance. For example, single-window clearance portals allow businesses to complete multiple approvals at one place, saving managerial time. Level playing field, smaller firms gain equal access to services and opportunities. For example, digital platforms ensure that small enterprises can access the same regulatory services as large firms without intermediaries. Challenges to digital transformation. Despite the positive findings, the transition is not without hurdles. The digital divide. Small unincorporated firms often lack the digital literacy or infrastructure to fully utilize online systems. State-level disparity. There is a wide gap between front-runner states and aspirant states in implementing the 98-point action plan. Informality trap. Since many MSMEs are not registered, they may remain outside the ambit of digital public administration benefits. Way forward, strengthening the MSME ecosystem. To harness the full potential of digitalization as identified by the IMF, the following steps are essential. Bridging the last mile, promoting digital saksharta, digital literacy, among small-scale entrepreneurs to ensure they can navigate online tax and compliance portals. Interstate benchmarking, encouraging states to learn from the best practices of high-performing states to reduce regional productivity gaps. Formalization drive, linking digital administrative benefits to formal registration, example through the Udyam portal, to bring more firms into the productive fold. Focus on infrastructure, reliable electricity and high-speed internet in industrial clusters are prerequisites for any digital administration reform.